In a quiet corner of the world, where the winds hummed lullabies and the trees spoke in whispers, there was a little village called Whispering Pines. The village was small and peaceful, just a handful of cozy cottages nestled among tall pine trees that swayed like sleepy dancers. At night, the sky above Whispering Pines was clearer than anywhere else in the world. Stars shimmered like glittering candlelights, and the moon hung low, as if it too wanted to listen to the dreams below. In the coziest of the cottages, beneath a rooftop shaped like a teacup, lived a little girl named Luna. She was 7 years old, with soft, curly hair the color of twilight, and eyes that sparkled with wonder. Her laugh was like wind chimes, and her heart was full of questions. But there was one question she wondered most. Where do stars go when they stop twinkling? Every night, just before bed, she would stare out her window and whisper that question to the sky. Some stars would blink back as if winking. Others would fade behind drifting clouds. And some nights, if the sky was especially quiet, she thought she could hear a faint silver hum, like a lullaby carried on the wind. Her grandmother, Nani, lived with her. Nani was full of stories, soft hugs, and the warmest cocoa. She knew things no one else knew, like how moonflowers only bloom when sung to, and how dreams sometimes wander into your pockets when you're not looking. One evening, as stars stretched across the velvet sky and Luna climbed into bed, she asked Nani her favorite question again. Nani, where do stars go when they stop twinkling? Nani smiled and tucked the blanket around her like a gentle cloud. Ah, Luna. Stars are like hearts. They shine bright when they're cared for, and when they stop shining, maybe they just need someone to remind them how. Luna blinked. Remind them? Nani said, nodding slowly. With kindness, with patience, maybe even a lullaby. Luna lay very still, thinking. But how can I remind them? She asked softly. Nani leaned down and kissed her forehead. When the time is right, little moonbeam, you'll know. And with that, she blew out the candle. Luna watched a star blink softly in the sky, and she whispered goodnight, not knowing the star was listening, not knowing that very soon she would visit a place no one in Whispering Pines had ever seen, a place where stars are not just watched, but grown. The next night, Luna couldn't sleep. She had brushed her teeth, snuggled beneath her patchwork quilt, and even counted sheep. She got to 42 before one of them somersaulted and made her laugh. But something in the air felt different, like a whisper waiting to be heard. She tiptoed to her window. Outside, the wind had quieted. The pines stood still, and the stars, They looked closer somehow, like they were leaning in. Then Luna saw it. Right below her window, where the dandelions grew wild in spring, something silver was winding its way out of the ground. A vine, thin as ribbon, and glowing softly, like moonlight. It curled upward, higher and higher, wrapping itself around invisible steps only it could see. Luna blinked. A vine? Growing into the sky? She rubbed her eyes. The vine shimmered. She glanced at her bed, then at the stars above. She didn't even grab her slippers. Carefully, quietly, Luna opened the window. A gentle breeze brushed her cheek, like the night giving her permission. She placed one foot on the windowsill, then another. The vine felt cool beneath her toes, like touching starlight. It held her weight gently, as if expecting her. With a deep breath, Luna began to climb. Up and up she went, higher than the rooftop, past the fluttering laundry lines and the weather vane shaped like a cat. Above her, the stars twinkled brighter. Below, whispering pines grew smaller and softer, like a toy village tucked into a dream. Clouds brushed past her shoulders like soft feathers. Luna giggled. It didn't feel scary. It felt like the sky was wrapping her in a hug. The vine led her past a cloud shaped like a carousel, and another that looked like Nanny's teacup. Luna waved at them both. Finally, after what felt like both a long time and no time at all, she saw something ahead. A floating garden. It hung in the sky, nestled between two silver clouds. Its edges were rimmed with stardust. Flowers glowed in soft blues and purples, and tiny lanterns floated in the air like sleepy fireflies. And stars, tiny, twinkling, gentle stars, grew from its soil like blossoms. Luna's mouth fell open. Is this the place Nanny told me about? Just then, a voice answered. Yes, Luna, you found the star garden. Luna turned. Standing in the center of the garden was a tall woman with long silvery hair that flowed like a river of light. Her robe shimmered with constellations, and her eyes sparkled with centuries of dreams. I am Solara, the keeper of the star garden, the woman said with a kind smile. Why am I here? Luna asked, still holding on to the vine. Because you asked the stars where they go when they stop twinkling, and they heard you. Luna stepped onto the garden path, feeling moss as soft as pillows beneath her feet. Will you help us? Solara asked. Luna looked around. The stars swayed gently in their beds of sky soil. Some flickered brightly, others barely glowed at all. She nodded slowly. I think I was always meant to. Solara smiled. Then your journey begins here, in the garden where stars are born. Luna followed Solara deeper into the star garden. The air smelled of lavender and something softer, like dreams. All around them, stars swayed gently on thin, silvery stems. Some were golden like honey, others blue like forgotten lullabies. Some pulsed with light, others barely flickered. They look so tired, Luna said. They are, said Solara, stopping beside a star that glowed faintly, its light barely a twinkle. Some stars flicker when they feel lonely, Others dim when forgotten. A few just need a reason to shine again. Luna knelt beside the little dim star. Do they hurt? Solara nodded. In the way feelings hurt, quietly, deeply. Luna reached out gently. The star was warm, like holding a kitten who had just stopped trembling. Solara handed her something small, a watering can made of moonlight. It shimmered like the surface of a quiet lake. This holds star drops, Solara explained. They're filled with patience and care, but only the gentle-hearted can pour them. Me? Luna blinked. You were chosen, said Solara, because your heart listens. So Luna tried. She tipped the can. A single silver droplet fell onto the dim star. It didn't hiss, it didn't sparkle, it just sighed, like it felt seen. Then Luna did something else. She whispered, not loud words, not questions, just a tiny breath of kindness. I'm here. The star flickered once, then twice, and slowly, gently began to glow. Luna's eyes widened. Solara's eyes twinkled. You see, some stars need whispering, a little kindness, a little time. They moved through the garden together. Luna sang softly to a drooping star that looked like a teardrop. It perked up and began to hum. She told a joke to a star curled into a ball. It giggled in sparkles. She even hugged a star too shy to shine. It bloomed into soft pink light. Not all stars lit up right away. Some stayed quiet. Some barely flickered. But Luna didn't rush. She watered them, spoke gently, sat beside them. Because kindness, she was learning, didn't always work like magic. Sometimes it worked like moonlight, soft and slow, but always reaching. As the night deepened, the garden shimmered with more light than before. Stars twinkled in beds like glowing daisies, and Luna's heart felt full, like a lantern someone had lit inside her. Solara placed a gentle hand on Luna's shoulder. You've helped more than you know, she said. But there's one more star that needs you most. Luna tilted her head. Where? Solara pointed to a shadowed corner of the garden, one Luna hadn't seen before. There, nestled beneath a sleepy willow of clouds, was a star that did not glow at all. It looked like a smudge of ash. Luna felt a soft ache in her chest. Can I help it? She asked. Solara gave her the moonlight can, with patience and a little more whispering. Luna nodded. She took a deep breath and walked toward the quietest star in the garden. Luna walked slowly toward the corner of the garden where the light grew dim and soft shadows curled like sleepy kittens. The path became quieter here. No humming stars, no swaying stems, just a hush, like the world was holding its breath. There, beneath the arch of a weeping cloud willow, sat a star. It didn't blink, it didn't hum, it didn't glow. It was gray, round, and still, Not dark, exactly, just forgotten. Luna crouched beside it. She didn't speak right away. She just listened. Nothing. Even the wind didn't visit this part of the garden. She set down her moon-watering can and sat cross-legged. The soil beneath her was cool, soft, and full of tiny silvery roots. "I don't know your name," Luna whispered gently, "but I know you're here." The star gave no sign that it heard her. Luna reached out carefully, brushing her fingers just near its edge. It wasn't cold, but it felt hollow. "I've never met a star who doesn't shine," she said. "But maybe that's okay." She tilted her head and thought, "Maybe you don't need to shine right away. Maybe you're just resting." Still, the star didn't move. But something inside Luna knew it was listening. She placed a single drop of moon water at its base. The silver droplet sat for a moment, then vanished into the soil. No glow, no shimmer, and yet Luna didn't feel sad. She reached into her pocket and pulled out a pebble she always carried. It was smooth, round, and had a tiny sparkle. Nani had given it to her for wondering. She placed it beside the star. "Here," Luna said, "something to keep you company." Then she leaned close and whispered again, "You're not broken. You're just quiet." For the next little while, she sat in silence. She hummed softly, nothing loud, just a tune she once dreamed about. A melody that felt like walking in warm socks and hugging your favorite teddy bear. And maybe, just maybe, the star pulsed, barely, like a sigh in the dark. Luna smiled, but she didn't rush. She didn't try to make it glow. She simply sat. Because she understood now, some stars need more time. After a while, Solara appeared in the distance. "Luna," she called gently, "it's time to rest." Luna nodded, still looking at the quiet star. "I'll come back tomorrow," she promised, "if that's okay." The star gave no answer, but Luna felt a warmth under her hand, faint as a whisper. As she walked back with Solara, the garden behind her sparkled with sleepy light. The stars she had cared for blinked slowly, like children slipping into dreams. And in the far corner, just for a moment, a single soft pulse of light blinked once, like a candle remembering how to flicker. The garden was quieter now. The stars Luna had helped shimmered gently, like lanterns swaying in a breeze. Some spun slowly on their stems. Others tucked themselves beneath tiny velvet leaves. Even the sky above seemed to yawn and stretch. Solara led Luna toward a soft patch of grass near a pool that reflected the stars like a second sky. "You've given them rest," Solara said, her voice as calm as rain on the roof. "Now, you must rest too." "But I'm not tired," Luna said, with a yawn sneaking into her voice. Solara smiled. "Stars don't just need light. They need someone who understands stillness. You've done that." Luna looked back at the quiet corner where the forgotten star lay. "Even if it didn't shine?" Solara nodded. especially then. You didn't rush it. You stayed. They sat together by the starlit pool. Luna dipped her fingers into the water. It rippled like silk. Images danced across it, flickers of memories. She saw the giggling star that glowed when she told it a joke. She saw the tiny one she'd sung to, twirling in delight. And she saw the quiet star, pulsing faintly like a heartbeat. Solara reached into the water and brought out a folded piece of star petal paper. She placed it in Luna's hand. "This is your first star glow message," she said. Luna opened it. Written in light were words that glowed softly. "Even when you can't see it, your kindness leaves warmth behind." Luna smiled. Her eyes felt heavier now, as if moonlight had curled up inside her. Solara stood and lifted her hands. Above them, a silver canopy of dream mist drifted down. It tucked around Luna like a sky blanket, cool, weightless, safe. "You may stay here tonight," Solara whispered. "When you wake, the sky will carry you home." Luna lay back in the soft grass, the scent of cloudberries in the air. She looked up. Above her, the stars pulsed slowly in their sky branches, cradled like glowing fruit in a garden of dreams. And just before she drifted off, she thought she saw something in the farthest corner, a star blinking once, then again, then softly glowing like a tiny promise kept. Luna sighed, and the garden hummed, because even in sleep, kindness lingers. Luna awoke to a soft warmth brushing her cheeks. A golden pink light was spilling across the star garden. The sky above her was a gentle rose tinged with the first hints of sunrise. The stars had all gone quiet. Their glowing petals closed like sleeping blossoms. Everything felt still, peaceful. Solara sat nearby, sipping from a teacup made of crystal moonstone. She smiled as Luna sat up, stretching like a sleepy kitten. "Did I really sleep here?" Luna asked, her voice still tangled in dreams. "You did," Solara said gently, "and the garden has never rested so well." Luna looked around. The air was hushed. A breeze rustled the cloud willow leaves. A few star flowers gave off faint snores. She giggled. She stood and glanced toward the far corner. The forgotten star. It was no longer gray. It wasn't bright either, but it was glowing softly, like an ember that had remembered its warmth. Luna placed a hand on her chest. She didn't need to say anything. The star knew. Solara walked over and placed a bundle in Luna's arms, a satchel made of night silk. Inside were little pouches of stardust, a folded blanket that smelled like dreams, and a moonstone pin shaped like a sleeping star. "For your journey," Solara said. "My journey?" Luna asked. Solara pointed upward. In the sky, a small platform floated just above the garden. It looked like a bubble woven from sunshine and cloud. "It's time to return home," she said. "But don't worry, you'll come back when the garden calls you again." Luna took a deep breath. She felt a swirl of things. Gratitude, wonder, a tiny ache, like saying goodbye to a friend. Will the stars remember me? Solara nodded. They already do. She guided Luna to the floating bubble. It opened like a blossom, warm and waiting. Luna stepped in. The garden below shimmered like a dream. The stars all pulsed once together. A silent thank you. And then the bubble began to rise, up through the morning sky, past yawning clouds and sunlit breezes, past the glimmering tips of dreams and the hush of gentle winds. Luna curled up with the stardust satchel, wrapped in the dream blanket, and sighed. She didn't know how long the ride would take, but she didn't mind. She had stories to remember, stars to think of, and a warm flicker in her chest, the light she'd left behind. As Luna closed her eyes, the bubble floated toward a cottage in whispering pines. And the stars, they waited for her return. The bubble floated gently down through the morning sky, silent and smooth as a falling feather. Birds chirped drowsily. Sunlight spilled over the hills of whispering pines, warming rooftops and fluttering laundry lines. In the smallest cottage, beneath the teacup-shaped rooftop, the curtains swayed softly in the breeze. And with a quiet pop, like the sound of a dream closing its eyes, Luna returned. She opened her eyes to find herself nestled in her own bed, quilt tucked around her like clouds. Her window was open, and a wisp of wind danced across her nose. For a moment, Luna thought, maybe it had all been a dream. The star garden, Solara, the glowing flowers, the forgotten star. She sat up and rubbed her eyes. Her room looked the same. Books on the shelf, drawings pinned above her desk, her favorite slippers by the door. But then, she felt something under her pillow. She reached beneath it and pulled out something small and cool. A star pebble, smooth and glowing faintly with the gentlest light. It pulsed in her palm just once, like a heart saying, "I remember you." Luna smiled. It hadn't been a dream. It had been real. She stood by her window and looked up. The morning sky was pale blue, not a single star in sight. But she could feel them, sleeping, waiting, safe. Downstairs, Nani was making toast and humming to the radio. Luna padded into the kitchen with the pebble still in her palm. "Did you sleep well, little moonbeam?" Nani asked. Luna nodded, climbing into her chair. "I think I helped the stars last night." "Oh?" Nani smiled knowingly. "That's important work." Luna munched her toast. They needed whispering. "Don't we all sometimes?" Nani said, patting her hand. Later that day, Luna helped her little brother tie his shoelaces without grumbling. She gave the grumpy neighbor's cat a gentle stroke. She even left a little flower at the library door. Because stars weren't the only ones who needed kindness. Hearts did too. And kindness, she now knew, was like stardust. You leave a little behind wherever you go. That night, as she tucked herself beneath her quilt, Luna placed the glowing pebble back under her pillow, and she whispered to the stars, "I'll come back when you need me." The wind rustled gently like a lullaby in return, and somewhere, far above the sleepy rooftops of whispering pines, a single star blinked in the garden sky. The days grew softer in whispering pines. Birds sang slower songs. Leaves danced longer in the wind. And each evening, as the sun dipped behind the hills, Luna stood by her window, watching the stars return. They never blinked in the same way again. Now, they twinkled like old friends, waving hello. Every night, Luna whispered to them, sometimes words, sometimes just feelings. And though they didn't answer in voices, the stars always shimmered back, like they were listening. And then, one night, just as she was drifting into sleep, the moon sent her a message. Not with words, with a feeling, a gentle tug. Luna opened her eyes. There it was again, the silver vine curling softly at the edge of her windowsill, aglow with moonlight. The garden was calling. From that night on, Luna returned often. Not every night, just when the stars needed her. Sometimes, she watered sleepy star buds that hadn't bloomed yet. Other times, she sat beside flickering ones, letting her quiet company do the work. And always, she visited the once-forgotten star. It no longer hid in shadows. It had found its glow again. Not the brightest, but steady and strong, like a nightlight that never burned out. Solara began to call her the keeper of kindness. Luna liked that. Not because it was fancy, but because it meant she helped without needing to fix. She listened, she waited, she cared. And soon, something magical began to happen back in Whispering Pines. People started whispering more gently to each other. They sat with friends who were sad, even when they didn't know what to say. They took time to notice the quiet ones, the ones who didn't always sparkle but had light inside, just waiting. Nani smiled knowingly whenever Luna returned from a visit. "The stars aren't the only ones you're helping," she'd say. "Hearts shine brighter around you too." Luna would shrug. "Maybe I'm just leaving a little stardust behind." Nani would nod. "Exactly, my moonbeam." And so, the story of Luna and the Star Garden became a quiet legend in Whispering Pines. No one saw the vine that grew into the sky. No one knew of the moon-watering can or the forgotten star, but they felt it. In every act of quiet kindness, in every patient moment, in every soft whisper that said, "I'm here, I see you, you matter." Because Luna had learned something that would stay with her forever. Kindness is a kind of magic, the gentle kind, the lasting kind, the kind that glows, even when no one's watching. And as for the stars, they still wait, and blink, and dream. And sometimes, when they feel dim, they whisper her name, Luna, the girl who reminded them how to shine.